The excavation team found something strange while drilling. A weird scream came from under the mine, and as the drill went deeper, a thick smoke suddenly rose to the surface. The drill stopped instantly at that moment. Everyone's eyes immediately turned over, until the lady boss signaled to lift the drill and check. Only then did they discover the drill actually pulled out some strange biological remains. The experienced professor instantly realized something was wrong. He immediately arranged for excavation of the land, but what no employee expected was a human-shaped plastic film appeared in the deep pit. This instantly gathered everyone together. A man actually crawled out from the film. This scene scared everyone badly, and what was even crazier was this man spoke in ancient French, as if calling out for help. The excavation team immediately brought him inside, and first served him a warm coffee. But what was really confusing was, no one could understand his ancient French, and he became emotional because of it. The professor beside him urged him to calm down, but unexpectedly, something like a worm slid by. The professor, who saw it with his own eyes, was so scared he kept retreating, but the others around him didn't notice at all. Only the professor realized it. The man might have already mutated somehow. When the lady boss rushed over to check, the professor immediately reported how serious it was. He then asked everyone to help collect a blood sample from the man, but at this time the bearded guy refused. He thought the professor was making a fuss, that the man might just be in shock, and that worm just now might have been snot. But since everyone on site listened to the professor, the bearded guy had no choice but to hold the man from behind and start the test. But just as the blood sample was taken, John, get back! This time everyone saw it with their own eyes, except the bearded guy holding the man. So after the test, when everyone left, the bearded guy still found it strange. He asked his buddy to make some bread, and brought it to the man to find out more. But he had no idea this would cost his life. The bearded guy habitually played with his knife, but that was noticed by the ancient man. The man asked him for the knife, and even gestured to end his own life. But the bearded guy couldn't understand at all. Even after the man explained over and over, it was no use. And when the bearded guy happened to look out the window, the knife was snatched by the man. The two immediately fell into a standoff. Then the man pointed the knife at himself. But no matter how determined he was to die, something inside his body was stopping him, and then it burst out in an instant. At this moment, the bearded guy realized the problem. He rushed to choke him, but the man seemed controlled, and choked the bearded guy back. Very soon he pinned the bearded guy to the ground. Terrifying tentacles came out of his eyes and nose. The pinned down bearded guy was completely dumbfounded, and the man's mutation was far from over. Like the reincarnation of a demon lord, and the tail behind him slid straight into the bearded guy's mouth. When he finally came back to his senses and looked, the man had turned into a dried corpse, obviously because the creature inside him transferred. The bearded guy immediately called the lady boss to report, but when questioned by her, he lied and said he didn't know. He just came to deliver bread, and went to the restroom afterwards. He didn't know why it turned out like this. Hearing this, the lady boss was helpless. She could only wait for the professor's test results, and those results lasted all night. It turned out the man did have a parasitic species inside, and this species also had immortality. This explained why the man had survived underground until now. The professor's female apprentice was very curious. This was a discovery worthy of worldwide attention. Meanwhile, the parasitized bearded guy in the dorm was telling his roommate that something crawled into him, but his roommate thought he was joking. The two started arguing, two big guys neither backing down. After a few words, they started fighting, until the bearded guy was knocked down and couldn't get up. A power inside him burst out instantly.